Ever since their plan failed in the end event, it would seem as if the Seven's plan has completely halted, but you'd be wrong. Right now, behind the scenes, the Seven are working to execute their next step of their plan. With the help of the aliens, the Seven are advancing in their one mission to break the loop. In this video, I'll be covering what the Seven have been doing throughout Chapter 2 and how it will affect Fortnite Season 8 and the future of the Fortnite Island. This video is a continuation of my previous video on the Seven Secret Plan in Chapter 1. If you haven't seen that video already, I'd recommend watching it using the card on the top right or the link in the description. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit that like button and let's get right into this. In Season X, the Seven's plan was intercepted by the IO in the end event. We know this because of the scientist's secret message left during the black hole. I was not alone. Others are outside the loop. This was not calculated. The nothing is now inevitable. Moment I was not alone. Starting in Chapter 2, we did not hear anything about the Seven for many seasons. But secretly, the Seven had a backup plan. Their plan was not over yet. The implosion of the Zero Point during the end event caused a powerful wave of energy to send itself across space and time. In another universe, just as the Seven had hoped, Galactus, the Devourer, noticed the wave of energy and began heading towards the island to consume the Zero Point. At the end of Season 4, Galactus had arrived to consume the Zero Point's energy. Iron Man and his team successfully avoided a full breakdown of the island's reality. However, the Zero Point was still damaged enough for the Seven's plan to continue. Throughout Season 5, the Zero Point grew increasingly unstable. Dr. Sloan assigned John Jones with repairing the damage to the Zero Point while not letting anyone on the island escape the loop. More importantly, to not draw the attention of the Seven. The IO at the time were suspecting that the Seven may have had a secret plan to continue their mission, which Dr. Sloan wants to avoid at all costs. While Jones was busy gathering hunters to stop loopers from escaping the loop, the Zero Point grew critically unstable much faster than he had wanted. Jones knew that if he didn't do anything to solve the problem, the implosion of the Zero Point would cause reality to get destroyed, and so he chose to get help from the Seven. Knowing about the Seven's intentions to break the loop, Sloan warned Jones not to work with the Seven, but Jones refused. To Jones, reality must persist. And so, John Jones used his rift device to summon the Foundation to the island. The Seven were waiting for this opportunity the entire time. This was their opportunity to finally follow through with their second plan. Upon his arrival, the Foundation attempts to fight Jones, but Jones convinces the Foundation to collaborate by telling him, "Geno, I can get you to Geno." We know from some translations of the trailer that Geno is a person and not a location. This will be very important later. We have a deal for now. The Foundation attempts to fix the Zero Point, but it fails. This may have actually been another part of the Seven's plan. The Foundation becomes sealing itself and the Zero Point inside the Spire. The Foundation then instructs Jones to overload the rift device on the Zero Point. This is critical to the next step of the Seven's plan, bringing in some friends. It is important to note that the Spire is a technology of the alien race known as the Last Reality. We know this because the Spire is one of the symbols on their emblem. The Seven are reality travelers and likely have allies across many realities. The aliens are one of them. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit that like button. After overloading the rift device inside the Zero Point, the Foundation had access to create rifts to other realities. Kevin the Cube had done something similar when it interacted with the Zero Point during the Butterfly event. Bringing the last reality to the island was an intentional step in the Seven's plan. It was time for that step to be executed. Throughout the final weeks of Season 6, aliens began invading the island, leaving crop circles and abducting players. And in Season 7, the Mothership came to the Fortnite Island. Upon its arrival, it went directly to the Spire to collect the Zero Point. From leaks, we know that there will be a character that we currently only know as the Queen. We know that the Queen will first appear in Season 8 and play a major part in the Fortnite Chapter 3 storyline. I believe that the aliens are being led by the Queen, and not only that, I believe that the Queen is none other than Singularity. Donald Mustard has said that Singularity, which is only one of her names, will play a much larger part in the storyline than people think. Singularity has many names and identities. We already know that Singularity has worked with the Seven as the Paradigm, so she may have worked with other groups under other identities too. I believe that Geno is the real name of Singularity, Paradigm, and the Queen. John Jones knows that the Seven have been looking to reunite with the Paradigm for quite some time. This is why he tells the Foundation that he can get him to her. After the end event, Geno likely began traveling to other realities to gain outside support in the Seven's mission. Geno quickly rose to power among the aliens with her knowledge of Kevin the Cube and the Zero Point. Her name in the Seven, Paradigm, shows that she was the one to bring the first ideas, a paradigm, to the Seven. The aliens agreed to work with Geno in her quest to free the Loopers, under the condition that they may invade and colonize the island to be their own. Geno accepts this offer, and the last reality heads towards the island. The attempted invasion of the island started a war between Io and the aliens. Dr. Sloan is determined not to let the aliens take control of the island. We are now nearing the end of this battle, and Sloan has a plan to bomb the mothership. This bombing will send tons of debris as well as other things on the mothership crashing down onto the island. From an Easter egg in the Rift Tour concert as well as leaks, we know that Kevin the Cube will be returning in Season 8. For this reason, I believe that Kevin the Cube is currently on the mothership, being used by Geno and the aliens, and Kevin the Cube will fall onto the island following the bombing of the mothership. With the Zero Point and Kevin the Cube reunited on the island, the Seven's plan can continue. The final steps of the Seven's new plan to break the loop. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Leave me a comment down below on your thoughts and subscribe to get notified of new videos. I will see you at the live event in Season 8.